2, smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback crack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. It's Eagles talk live, it's talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat shelling, Dante the dark job. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur game, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk. Upon further review, Eagles versus the Packers. But what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys at the end of the show? That this was huge, that they took Wentz out and basically put Jalen Hurts in, and that is the talk of the week. They've named Jalen Hurts as the starter in this upcoming game against the New Orleans Saints. There's a lot to talk about, man. This franchise is dysfunctional right now. Throw the record out of the window. But this record is an indication of how dysfunctional things are going behind the scenes, man. And there's going to have to be some decisions made, because this whole structure, the way it is not going to be able to. First, we got our franchise quarterback. We have over $100 million invested in this guy. We signed him for good cause, because at one time, in only his second season, he looked like an MVP candidate. But since then, he has regressed. And this year, he seems totally broken. But my opinion is that it's not only his fault. It's some outside influences that's contributing to that. And we'll talk about that. But this organization has got to do something as far as structural wise to get this thing back on track. I am talking too much. Let me get into the first quarter. My co-host here, we got the Sandler boy, Pat, and our resident, Nichelle. I don't know what to say sometimes. I'll be like, the beautiful. And I say, no, all right, don't say that. We have the very intelligent, very knowledgeable Nichelle is joining us tonight. Guys, how you guys feel after Sunday's game and with all the news that's going on? Give me a brief summation of how your week has been going, Nichelle.
Well, my week's been actually busy. Work. That's the same old story, though. The holidays are coming up, so wrapping up with that. But I did get some time to listen to some of the interviews, and I'd like to get into that a little bit more. But to your point, the dysfunction, there's a lot of dysfunction, and I think people around the league with ties to the team are really sensing that right now. And this dysfunction is bigger than a quarterback controversy. So that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Pat, you've been hearing the news since the game. We're not even going to talk about a recap of the game. We all know what happened. We got our butt spanked again. You know what I'm saying? We were down double digits for the 9th time out of 12 games. It's just the way our season has been going. So we lost, and Jalen Hurts got a touchdown, but he still faced the same difficulties that Carson Wentz faced when he was in there. He was a little bit more elusive than Carson might have been, but he still faced that pass rush, and that's just a result of not having a good offensive line. So I don't know what he's going to do in this upcoming week, but you've heard all that. We're not going to recap that game. We're going to get right into this controversy. So, Pat, you've heard what's the talk been this week. How have you been handling it?
I've been drinking.
This team is broken.
You know what? It is. I try to drown it out, especially after a loss. I try not to tune into talk show radio, get too much on social media. I did rewatch the game. I don't know why I did that, but we have some bright spots. Listening to Jason Kelce and trying to break down what he was trying to say. Even Donovan McNabb had to chime in, and of course, his best friend T.O. chimed in. But you know what? It all comes down to the organization. The organization, I believe, is failing the players this year.
All right. Well, we're doing a lot of talking, and we haven't started the first quarter. Oh my goodness! All right.
Start the first quarter.
Let's start the first quarter. So
you're now listening to the first quarter.
You are watching Eagles Talk, listening to Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And what we like to do on our show, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverages. Okay, so everybody who's not new to the show know what time it is. Get your drinks. Let me know what you are drinking out there as we analyze what's going on with our Philadelphia Eagles. So we are doing the tequila Terramata tequila, and I didn't see what you was holding up there in the show. What did you have up there?
That was some Jersey wine, some Valenzano Sweet Cab Red.
Okay. All right. So let us know what you're drinking out there. But everybody down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So out in the comment world out here, because I've taken a long time, let me acknowledge the first person in the room tonight. That was Frank. Frank says, hey, y'all. What's up, Frank? Drexel Davis was second. He said, I'm still thinking division title a lot. The playoffs. Playoffs.
He's talking about playoffs?
Playoffs. What is he talking about? All right, look.
Keep hope
a lot of
alive,
football.
Drexel. Keep hope alive.
All right, keep hope alive. Third, and he was right. He was third in the room. Lenny Radford, I'm sorry. Richard Booth says, what's up, Eagles family? What's up? And our good neighbor Sean Bell says, what's going on, guys? What's going on, Sean? So bringing it up to current, everybody is stay away from talk radio. Oh,
yeah.
All right. So there's a lot of combinations going on. Sean Bell is drinking tequila. But getting back to what we were discussing before, this organization is broken. I don't think that Carson Wentz can be better with the coaches. I'm sorry. I think he's done a lot. He's done a lot. Don't get me wrong. He's not been the most accurate, but I think that he could have been helped out tremendously had he had better, not only play calling, but coaching also, because the coaching staff here, I don't think they have him focus enough on mechanics and stuff like that. And that combined with the play calling leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, like, this is a major reason why this guy is struggling. I haven't even talked about the offensive line. Come on, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of surrounding factors that's contributing to him not playing the way he played in the past. And I think a big part of it is coaching.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The coaching has failed Carson Wentz. Not only has the coaching failed Carson Wentz, the organization has failed Carson Wentz. When you have a talent like you had leading up to this year, and you don't surround him with what he needs to be surrounded by, drafting players that's not even seen the field in year 2 or 3, you failed the quarterback. When you're not even able to get a solid line in front of him who's that's younger, because you got to realize this line that we have in front of us, they're older bunch. They're an older bunch, and they're breaking down. You don't get the opportunity to see the guy's full potential, because all he's thinking about is, the rush that's coming in front of him.
Most definitely. That rush is a lot. I mean, I'll tell somebody recently, I said the normal progressions of a quarterback when they step back is boom, first option, second option, third option. I said in Wentz's case, he's getting first option, defensive end.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's his read.
He gets no option.
One option, defensive rush. Where is that coming from? You know what I mean? So, it's unfair to accurately judge him based on playing behind such a porous offensive line, man. And then this coach does nothing to help him out, because although this offensive line is not great pass rushing, they have low grades pass rushing. They have pretty good grades rushing the ball. And then you look at our running backs, they have pretty good yards per carry.
Yeah.
You would think that you would run the ball more if that's the strength of this porous offensive line and you're getting production, but he won't do that. Now, this is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that now that Jalen Hurts is sitting in that seat, that he's going to change the offensive play calling.
He said it.
He's going to run the ball more.
No, he said it.
And then when they have success running the ball, he's going to get this false sense of credit like he fixed. We've been asking him to do that with Wentz.
He said in an interview today, not today, this week, that he's going to have to help the young quarterback out by running the ball, by throwing screens, by throwing short slants and crossing. Hold up. Doesn't this sound like we've been saying this all the whole season? Where is your screen game, mate? You're terrible at throwing a screen. Running backs don't know where to go, what to do. Offensive linemen are taking off too quickly. You're not throwing slants anymore or crossing routes. Everything's an out route or a combination route. You're not continue to run the ball. Listen, in that Cleveland game, yes, I understand that Miles Sanders fumbled the ball, fumbled away in the red zone, but that was successful.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Just continue to run it. And now you want to do it now to protect your young quarterbacks. You're putting out there to the wolves. This is number one defense in the NFL. So you're gonna say I need to protect him. What happened with that 12 weeks ago?
Seriously.
You can't be throwing the ball 50 times a game and expect when you have the number 2 rusher per yards average in the backfield. And you don't give him the ball. Something is physically something is really wrong with that right there.
Would you disagree, Nichelle, or what?
No. I mean, I feel like he's really making Wentz his scapegoat for his inadequacies as a coach. And I've been saying that all along. Yeah, I get it. He's made some bad plays, but at the same time, you know that position is 99.9% mental. So you have to put your QB in the best situation, and you wait 12 to 14 weeks later to change the play calling around, not for your number 1 QB, the one that was almost MVP of the league, but you wait to do it for the young one that you just drafted. Like, that's disrespectful. To me, that's just straight disrespectful. And then people talk, like I said, people talk, and I listen to some of the sports radio, from what Brett Favre had to say to what Aaron Rodgers had to say to even Jason Kelce. But, Rodgers said he did most of the talking when he talked to Wentz after the game and let him know, keep your head up. I'm a fan of his. He has a talent. I'm sorry, nobody takes the MVP of the NFL league and then within 4 years later, he's playing like this. And you want to say it's on him. It's not on him. Some of it, yes, it's on him in terms of execution, but in terms of coaching, it is your job to coach this man up. It is your job to get the production out of him. It is your job to put him and the pieces around him in the best position to succeed. That is the coach's job. If you're not going to do the full-out coach's job, what are you here for? What are you here for? And that just shows the holes that happened after Frank Reich left. And even Aaron Rodgers said there's a lot of contributing factors around him. Jason Kelce said the same thing. Brett Favre went on to say he's probably going to do really well someplace else. Come on now. What's he saying? You know what he's saying. That's Doug's boy. He's even saying, my boy can't coach him. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah. That is what he's saying. And it's evident here. So there has to be, like I said, there has to be some structural changes. If this team and this franchise expects to get back to a level of success that we have recently, experienced, Super Bowl champions, it's only 3 years later, and we're looking like trash. And
that's scary just to think about it. Like 3 years ago, we were riding high, and now we want to get rid of the whole. We want to basically abandon ship right now.
Not abandon ship, but I don't think that Super Bowl should carry so much weight that we are satisfied with mediocrity, or even we're less than mediocrity right now. You know what I mean? So Super Bowl 3 years ago does not give them a pass to give us what the crap we're getting on the field now. So I think they owe it to us to do a better job in running this organization. So if I had to choose, I'm choosing Wentz. I'm choosing Wentz. Doug Peterson, I'm not saying, and I got a comment up on the screen. Dom Lewis. Overall, I think Doug is a good coach. He failed to evolve, though. He should have taken a page out of Andy's book and evolved with the times. I'm not thinking that Doug's a bad coach. I think that the players still kind of play for him. I just think he's been undercut by this organization and the way the hierarchy and under the terms in which he was hired. I mean, like, who comes into a football coaching gig and some of your coaches are already chosen for you. Like, could you imagine a Bill Parcells coming into an organization
Not
and
at
they
all.
tell him your defensive coordinator is going to be this person and your offense? No, So, it started from then till now. We know for a fact that his staff is being hired by the front office. He needs a separation from this. He may be a good coach, a better coach if he wasn't handcuffed.
You know what? How much do we really know? I mean, we do know that they did pick the staff for him, but how much how handcuff is Doug on? How much is it on him handcuffing himself? How come you don't take the opportunity to give more play calling ability to your coaching staff that you have around you? Now you gotta take some ownership on his behalf too. You are the head coach. You do have a little say. A little say, and that little
Mhm.
say, I know you want to be strong with it and keep the offensive play calling, but there are different aspects of the game where you have to be focused. You have to worry about as a head coach. You can't continue to be. We say it every week. You can't continue to be an offensive coordinator and the head coach at the same time. It hasn't been successful in this league to date.
Okay, all right. So he sucks. Okay, so all right,
I
I'm
didn't say
I'm
he's.
okay with that.
I
You
didn't
No,
say.
I
I thought
wouldn't
I
say
thought
that. I just think he has a little bit of a delusion, and as nice as Doug Peterson is, I think there's a level of stubbornness that he has with him in terms of the play calling, in terms of, you say I got to do a better job over and over, but you don't do it. And then if you
right.
choose this week to create all those changes and make all those adjustments, to Pat's point, that we've been screaming about this entire season, that we were screaming about starting last season. Come on, come on.
Yeah,
He needs to stop being so arrogant, and you got the screen up from Lenny. Let somebody else call the plays. I'm all for Deuce calling the plays. That's OG
yeah,
Eagles family, so I'm all for that. But
right.
I just don't get throwing Wentz under the bus when when everybody else in the league is basically, if you read between the lines, they're saying it's a mess over in Philly, and what Wentz has around him, like, his best bet might be to go somewhere else. I don't want to see him go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
Right.
we definitely would be.
I definitely will
But you
be
know what?
pissed.
No, 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 no. Hold on, wait a minute. We said the same thing about Andy Reid, and what happened after you won a Super Bowl? Most of the Philadelphia fans here
We
celebrated.
cheered for
The,
him. We
the
celebrated. We
radio show had
did.
had,
We
a,
celebrated.
had an Andy Reid week. So don't get me wrong.
But we won a Super Bowl, so we could release and celebrate. It was easy for us to celebrate for Andy because we had a Super Bowl at that point. So
Right,
we
right.
didn't have that edge. Could you imagine if we hadn't won a Super Bowl, that Andy Reid, we would be pissed off at him
Oh
too.
yeah, oh
Come
yeah.
on,
We would
let's
definitely
be
have.
clear.
Oh,
It
y'all
We
was
would
had a
not at
y'all
ring.
would
that
have had a
We
level.
had a
parade.
ring.
Y'all would have
It
a
was
Kansas City parade
only
for Andy Reid. Come on now.
no. It was only civil because we had a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Believe
And
that.
we won it without him.
We
Yeah.
would have
That's
been
why.
the legendary Eagle fans that the world knows us as had Andy won before we won. Oh my
Yup.
goodness.
Yup.
Uh,
Tell it, Dante. Tell it.
Oh man,
Tell it.
that's
You
so
know
that
how
was,
funny.
we are.
but and I'll give Howie credit and I'll give Doug Peterson some credit for that success back then. And that's why it's gotten as bad as it's gotten, because this formula worked. It won a Super Bowl. So now how do you tell people that whose formula got them a Super Bowl that it's now tearing this team apart and it's no good for the team? How can you tell a Howie Roseman that you can't pick the next head coach's offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? You can't pick his staff. You have to allow him to do that when he's done it and won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to part ways with that type of mentality when that type of mentality got them to where they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know what, this whole situation is just like, to me, I think it's all screwed up from the top to the bottom right now. It's all screwed up. It's basically set up for failure. When you have this power struggle going on,
Mm,
when you were, like you said, when you hire your defensive coordinator, you give your defensive coordinator more say than your head coach.
Right.
When the head coach
the problem.
cannot even keep his guy, what was it, Mike Groh here, because he was grooming him. He can't even keep him because the the GM, the owner say, we gotta get rid of him and put a brain trust in there. And the brain trust ain't doing jack squat. All right, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing to make this offense better. We're 3-8-1. I didn't even think about that. I have never said 3 something like that in a long time for our Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, like I said before,
I don't remember ever saying it. That's the joke.
this is how
Yeah.
Giants fans feel. That's how the Redskins fans feel. But right now, we turned the whole screen around. Like we're playing terrible, not only from the player standpoint, from the organization standpoint, from the terrible drafts. It's starting to show right now. The terrible drafts that we've had over the past few years is starting to show its ugly face.
Yeah.
And to add insult to injury, the Washington football team beat the Steelers.
Right. The Washington football team beat the Steelers.
Man, listen.
Eric Ebram
But
had
the
like 8
New
drops,
York
though.
Giants beat the Seahawks. I mean, come
Right.
on. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
Right. They're on an upswing and we just on a downswing and that's just detrimental. And to everybody, this isn't an indictment on Hurts. Hurts is going to ball regardless.
Yeah.
Hurts is going to ball regardless. I have full faith in Hurts. My thing is with Doug giving him a better opportunity to ball than the QB he had before him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's my only thing.
That's the only problem.
I do agree with that, and it's kind of sad in a way, but at the same time, it's the NFL is nothing but a soap opera. Let's be real, because you have these stories develop in the season. Then at the end of the season, I think it was 2008 when we had to beat the Cowboys to get into the to the playoffs, right? And we demolished them. Brian Dawkins had had a sack, had an interception, had a forced fumble, and we cried because we beat the Cowgirls 42 to like 9 or something crap like that.
Right.
This season is really a soap opera. I mean, anything can happen, and this might propel them to put Wentz back in. I don't know. We don't know. We always speculate on what this team really is because it has no identity. We don't have any type of identity with this team.
Yeah, it's just it's time for it to end. Yeah, I can't say it enough. It brings a little bit more excitement to this game coming up because we want to see if the offense does get a spark. You want to see if Jalen Hurts too much. 3-8-1. I realistically don't see a win Sunday, unless something miraculous happens. But we need the way our team is set up is we need everybody to be ball out like a strong team where the offense have a bad week and the defense will pick them up, or the defense have a bad week in the offense. If our defense does not play lights out every game, we get blown out. That's the only reason why we're in some of these games because our offense has been not present.
Not existent. If our offense was able, if our offense was able to put up 24 points a game, just 24 points a game, a lot of these games we would just won. We would easily won because our defense were balling some of these games.
Yeah. So let's end this this first quarter. Did we end the first quarter?
We went into the first quarter, but we never ended it.
All right, end it. We're probably not doing 4, as you can see that, but end that.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite libation. And today, we are enjoying Terramata Tequila. Co-host over there, Nichelle, is enjoying the wine. You guys have let me know what you're enjoying, but right now, let's toast to I don't know what to toast to because
toast to your tomahawk because he said you wouldn't be on
toast
the show.
To good health.
And
yeah, let's do that.
And that tomahawk steak that's coming.
Tomahawk. All right, we'll talk about that. All right, here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. All right, start the second.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, so Jalen Hurts, no big deal, no threat. I don't think there's really a threat of unless he just balls out. But I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't see that he's going to have much more success. I think he will. He may have more success if Doug changes the offense to cater to him, like running the ball more and the screens and stuff like that. If he actually gets creative and play design and play calling for Jalen Hurts, then yeah, we might see some type of spark. But realistically, I don't see Jalen Hurts supplanting Carson Wentz as the franchise quarterback, not even in these 4 games.
I don't think so. I mean, the thing about Jalen Hurts, he does bring a different dynamic to the football field with his ability to actually scramble. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league at running a 4.59. Shelman was watching. He would say, "Oh yeah, he got a 4.59. It's like the second fastest ever in the combine." No, it's not. It's like the third fastest for a quarterback. But anyway, he's been a very dynamic quarterback for both Oklahoma and Alabama. He led Alabama to a national championship in a playoff win against Georgia. So he has the ability to play on a big stage. He stares down the gun barrel and he throws the ball. That's one thing I do like about him. Being a 6'1" quarterback, he's able to take the hits, take the poundings, and get right back up. Does that supplant what we have in Carson Wentz? Not really. It's hard to say. I have a feeling one of the guys here, Tyree Fenry, I don't know if you see the comment, a little page up, said he has a feeling that Doug Peterson is going to dumb the offense down for him and make him look better, make Jalen Hurts look very good in his offense. He's going to dumb it down. He's going to get the opportunity to scramble. He's going to get the opportunity to let the ball go. But one thing I did see in the end part of the Packers game with Jalen Hurts was he wasn't scared to throw that ball. If it was a 1 foot separation, his confidence level was to throw the ball. That when he first came on the field and he threw that deep ball to Rager, does Carson Wentz throw that ball now with his confidence level? That's the question. The question is the confidence level in Carson Wentz is that he's not pulling the trigger on certain throws.
Yeah, but I think he's so shook or
he's
with this
broken.
offense, he's broken. I mean, let's when you've been hit the most out of all the quarterbacks in the league, you can't help but think about the pass rush. He has to, there's going to have to be a reprogramming of this guy. You know what I'm saying? First, it starts with offensive line. Getting your best players out there, not playing Jason Peters.
Ain't not going to play.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like putting your best
take
offensive line out
the game,
there,
please.
and then doing what they do best that can help your quarterback, and that's to run the ball. Run the ball. We've been saying that for 3 years now. Run the ball. And when they run the ball consistently, we have success. We see that. Now, why is this guy not able to do that? So, that's part of why, just one of the many reasons why I think it's time for Doug to go. I thank you for the Super Bowl, Doug. I really appreciate it. But, this is like breaking up with a girl and you'd be like, it's not really you, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to tell Doug, Doug, you're not a bad coach. It's not really you. You might be able to go somewhere. And if you have full control as a coach, fare better than what you did here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't be under this type of structure and flourish. He can't do that. And his coaching staff is not the staff that is going to correct Wentz's problems. They're not the coaching staff. So for those 2 reasons, I think that it has to be Doug that has to leave, and I'll keep Wentz.
I got to ask you both a question. So do you think because of the short year of COVID, a lot of teams are struggling? Good save.
Yeah.
That part.
A lot of teams are struggling. A lot of injuries to major stars happened this year. Do you think because of the shortened season, the cockiness that we can't have coming into the season might have it basically hindered us going forward? Do you think that might been, should this be a mulligan year? Or should some heads fall, like our defensive coordinator should be fired at the end of the season?
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, they had every opportunity. They still got to play. That's the thing. They still got to play. They still got to practice. They didn't have to live the life of the average person. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it. There's some different circumstances and some very unfortunate circumstances, and I'm sure that can take a toll personally if you have somebody that had it or if they had to deal with death and all those other good things. And you know, I see folks commenting about Wentz's accuracy, but when this boy was dropping dimes back in 2017, you know, and still on a trajectory to go up in 2018, you know what I mean? And now his accuracy is trash. So somewhere in there, somebody has to be accountable, not just Wentz, but if I have that level talent, MVP talent that has the accuracy and everything, how does he get here so fast? That's what I want to know. How does he get here so fast and nobody's taking any accountability for it? So could it be a mulligan year? Yeah, maybe. They still got to play, though. They still got to get out on the field, put those pads on. They still got to practice. So preparation may have been delayed, but they still got to prepare. Say that?
You want me to throw the flag? No. Mulligan year. It just sunk in. What do you mean a mulligan year? Please explain this to me because I was looking at the comments. All right. So like explain to me what's a mulligan year again? It counts. This bullshit counts. You just wasted a whole year of my fandom. You don't know. You don't understand the verbal abuse.
Wait a minute.
No, this counts. This counts. No. We need to correct this now. There's no mulligan year and let this stay the same for another year. After 3-8-1, you don't no mulligan year. No. This counts, and they need to take it as seriously as we are. As we are. This doesn't look like a light switch is going to be flipped and everything's going to just change.
Let me do something. Let me throw out some stats for you, all right? For fifth-year quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger in his fifth year threw 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, and 60% completion percentage. Donovan McNabb, his fifth year, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 57% completion percentage. Jeff Garcia, 18 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 57% completion percentage. Carson Wentz is right in that same mode, 16 for 15, 57.
Yeah, no.
Bad years happen, even though it's a different league right now than it was with these guys in their fifth year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes it's a quarterback just has a bad year. A quarterback
Eli Manning.
Yes.
Right.
It happens.
And then if we look like they're not our quarterback, so we are not too interested in the backstory on why they struggled that year. But I'm sure if you looked into their backstory, it would probably just more than them having a dip in their statistics or their ability. But if you looked around them, maybe the personnel changed. Like in Wentz's case, this offensive line has been Swiss cheese all year.
It's been
all year. He's playing with 10 different.
No. It's week 13. He had 13 different offensive line. He's going to have 13 different offensive line starters.
Yes.
Wow.
13.
That's ridiculous.
That means a lot, man. Nothing happens without the offensive line. Nothing happens without the time to do what you're able to do. Now, I know what the pundits are going to say. They're going to say, well, there's times back there he holds the ball too long. And there are times that he does that. There's times that he throws the ball inaccurate. Yeah, there are times that happens too. But everything starts with the offensive line. And if you're getting hit that many times and the pass rush is coming at such an alarming rate, that is coming to Wentz. I mean, when you look at it, he's probably had the most quarterback pressure out of every quarterback in the league. So how can you be successful behind that type of line of scrimmage? And then Jason Kelce has said this. It's a shame that because it's a shame that he's taking a brunt of the blame because there's a lot that goes into being 3-8. It's just not one player does not make 3-8. Not on a football team, not on the ultimate team sport. One player is not going to make a team 3-8.
I like you said that. Basketball players said the ultimate team sport.
The ultimate team sport, football. I mean, because you got 22 people that have to come together and operate for that to be successful. 22. So you can't tell me that just one out of those 22 can make this team 3-8. There's a lot of things that's contributing to that.
It's a lot of different factors. I do agree.
More than 22 when you start adding in the subs, you know.
Adding in the kicker who can't kick the ball.
Right.
Don't get me started.
All right.
That's why
we got to go too.
Because our kicker.
All right. This quarter is over. You are watching Eagles Talk. We are talking about the disarray that this Philadelphia Eagles franchise is in. Uh, I seem to think that we need to, if things have to change, that we need to hold on to Wentz and change the things around him. You know, I heard someone say this week that not many franchise quarterbacks are playing and being successful without the proper talent surrounding them. You know what I mean? Like you see a Kyler Murray. They went out and got who?
D-Hop.
Hopkins, D-Hop
D-Hop.
for him. He's
Man,
not.
we could have got D-Hop.
You know, Brett.
You know what,
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron
This
Rodgers.
frustrates me. This frustrates me when I look at the landscape of the NFL. These teams going outside there and getting these guys, putting the draft picks on the line to get these guys to help their team out. We could have had Jalen Ramsey, Mika Fitzpatrick, D-Hop. D-Hop? Are you kidding me? Then on
Stephon
Howie's on
Diggs.
the
top
hot
of
seat.
that,
Howie's
and
on
on
the
top of
hot
that,
seat.
you just draft properly. Do you just add those guys into the fold? And this team is a dynasty for years to come. Yes, I did say dynasty, but our GM is very incompetent. So with that being said, let me end this quarter.
All right.
And that's the end of the quarter.
Oh man, he
Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on
I gotta show
Facebook.
them.
That is by Eagles fans for Eagles fans.
I had to show you the show I got this from.
All right.
You wouldn't believe it.
All right, we're watching Eagles Talk. Eagles Talk. We're talking about our team being disarray, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. He's drinking a Terramana. I'm out. I'm tapped out. So I'm out. And let me know what you're drinking out there. So I don't know what to toast to our Philadelphia Eagles and a change. I don't know. But, let's just toast to something and get this out the way.
How about support of our Philadelphia Eagles? How
Yeah,
about that?
just support. Prayer for our,
Right?
All right, so
Let's
down
get
to
some good football vibes here.
3, 2, 1. All right. So Jalen Hurts is the quarterback here. We don't know if he's going to remain the quarterback for the remainder of the season. I would say if it was me, if it was my call, well, I guess this next game, a lot depends on this next game. If he comes out and he actually absolutely kills it, then he's going to be the starter after that.
He goes up there and throws four touchdowns, 355 yards. He runs a touchdown and makes the #1 defense looks like sweated cheese. That's going to – it's a double-edged sword. You know what? As an Eagles fan, we want to root for our Eagles to win every game, regardless of who's back there. If he does that, we know what's going to happen next. It's going to be a quarterback controversy that's going to say what's going to happen after this. What should we do? Because Jalen Hurts is like the next coming of, I hate to say this guy, but Donovan McNabb. And we're going to sit there and pick his game apart and compare his game that, you know what? We need to get rid of this other guy. He might be the next coming of Bobby Horn. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword.
I don't see that happen. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But I know a lot depends on this next game, and that is one of the scenarios that could
that's
that could
tough to swallow.
come about, that he could be lights out and put up a great statistical game, and heaven forbid, win the game. If he does something like that, then yeah, we're going to have a serious quarterback controversy here in Philadelphia. But barring that, I just don't see that happening. So
Yeah.
with that,
I think Doug's going to end up in the hot seat if they just keep playing the way they've been playing. He just swapping out, he's swapping out pieces to kind of deflect, like I said, from his inefficiencies.
Right. So especially if the offense does nothing, if it continues to produce the numbers that we've seen with Wentz behind the center, then yeah, it's going to say, yo, Doug, the problem is not Wentz, it's you. Now, what I'm afraid of is that he changes the offense to cater to Jalen Hurts' inexperience and runs the ball more and has some success, and then he's going to look like a genius, right? I mean, to the average fan, right? But not to us, because we're smarter than that. We know that.
Well, Eagles fans aren't average. They've been yelling across every Twitter feed, sports radio about running the ball is pretty much the theme of this entire season. So if
Right.
he starts doing it now, everybody's going to call him out on that.
Yeah, especially if he sticks.
Everybody's going to call him
Especially
out
if he
on that.
sticks with it, and next thing you know, he's rolling the quarterback out. Where we've been. Did you know Carson Wentz is the number one quarterback on roll or outside the pocket throws?
Yeah. And look, I'm ignoring the people that we are on here for, and that's the people that's in the chat room. Let me read you guys. You guys are really having a lively conversation, following us too, and we thank you for that. But I'll go back to Corey Robinson. Corey Robinson, our Black Adam Schefter. He abandoned the show. I know you do your own lives, and I tune in sometimes, Corey.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
don't abandon Eagles talk because you got all big and all that. Don't forget where you started from. All right. So Corey says only one man was praised last year for playoffs last year. But before that, he said, how much money was them dudes making? So now Eli and Jeff Garcia is comps.
No, I mean I'm not saying they're the comps of Carson Wentz, not at all. But I'm just saying putting numbers together for quarterbacks in their fifth year. I mean I can go down the whole list of a lot of quarterbacks in their fifth year, and a lot of us would be surprised as how they perform.
All right. Ted Wiggins is on my vibe here. I fear that if Hurts performs good and we win 2 of these last 4 games, we will hold on to this front office and coaching staff another year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm afraid of too. I'm really it's not many times that I do that for my sports teams, but I just did it this past season with the Sixers head coach. I actually rooted for them to get swept out of the playoffs because I wanted Brett Brown out of here. And I'm at that point with Doug. And I don't hate Doug. Don't get it wrong, man. It's hard to say you want Doug out of here and don't seem like you're hating Doug. I'm not hating Doug, but I'm loving the Eagles, and I think that we could do better with another coach and under different circumstances because I don't want them to come in like Doug came in. Even though it worked out for him, he got a Super Bowl ring. I don't think it's a lasting relationship. I don't think that that's a workable relationship that can last a long time is when the front office is running your coaching staff and stuff like that. That's not a recipe for success. And I say that knowing that it worked for them that one year. But going forward, long-term longevity, that's not the right recipe for success. What do you think? Am I crazy?
I mean, listen, I kind of agree with you. I know some people have to get going, especially our defensive coordinator. He needs to be going after this season, regardless of how good or how efficient the defense has been. He's overstayed his welcome here with us. Do I think we need to replace Doug Peterson? I'm on the side of Doug Peterson because I'm a little impartial to him that he got us our first championship since they started naming the Super Bowl. So I'm a little impartial to letting him go right now. Do I think he should get another year? I do. I do think he gets one more year to prove
One
that
more.
this year was just a fluke, and he can do much better than what he did this year. Far as Howie, I think Howie needs to be put back in that back room and just deal with contracts, not player responsibilities or draft responsibilities. Leave that up to people that actually know what they're doing, and move Howie Roseman to the back of the office and have him just deal with contracts. He's a whiz at doing that. He learned from Joe Banner. Joe Banner was great at doing that. Let's keep him to do that. Don't ask him to come in that draft room.
Yeah. Have him on the phone. Like you're not sitting in the draft room and that O-line. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I think Sean said it. It's too much. It's like, when are we going to address that? We knew that our O-line was aging out. We got great production. Our O-line was balling. They was one of the best in the league. We got to see them on the body issue. Our O-line was top, but that's not them anymore. And I feel like we just ignored that problem for way too long. We saw Jason Peters start to decline, but nothing was ever really addressed, and it's still not being addressed now. So how long, before we let Doug break another quarterback? I want to see Hurts succeed too. I don't want to see him have to deal with some issues as well. I want to see him succeed too.
And behind this offensive line, you can possibly break our rookie too. I mean, he is fragile, China, because he's just come into the league and he's hoping to have a successful career But you can break this guy early on by putting him behind an offensive line like we have. And see if he comes out and he gets as much pressure that Carson was getting, and hit as much and sacked as much, that could be demoralizing to a young quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So although Doug is trying to shake things up. I think he's just fighting for his coaching career here in Philadelphia, which I wouldn't be putting up too much of a fight if I was you, Doug. Doug, I would just leave. I mean, I would just go, man. I see some of the comments out there, and I agree with them. Like, this is not the only shoe that should fall in this offseason. It should not just be Doug has to go. I was once a believer like you. Keep Howie around. He does great with the salary cap and stuff like that. But Howie behind the scenes, I don't know if Howie can go back into the corner like this after achieving so much success with his philosophy of how to run a team.
Well, it's easy.
It brought him a Super Bowl.
It's easy.
I don't think it's going to be easy for him to be put back in the corner. So you've got to just cut him. You got to just kill him.
If you just look at
if this was a gangster movie, you just had to kill him. You just can't. You can't allow him.
You got to do new age gangster movie. I'm gonna give you a write up right now.
Yeah, I mean, no. I'm just saying, this is an old time gangster movie. You couldn't have him around. You couldn't have him still living. You know what I'm saying? You would have to just snuff him out. And that's how it is. You can't put him in the corner. He has to go.
Don't put baby in the corner.
Don't put baby in the corner. So, I think that he would have to leave.
Okay,
man.
you know what? I agree with it. All right, Howie has to go. All right, I said it.
I mean, because I said what I said before because I was thinking that if he had enough what is that? Humility to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not the best talent evaluator when it comes to the draft. Maybe I need to turn this over. Same thing we're asking Doug to do with the offensive play calling, right? But you have to have some humility. You have to have the accurate. You have to take an accurate self-inventory. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you can do that after you've won the Super Bowl doing it your way. My dad is 80 years old. And you know what? When we try to tell him that he needs to do things differently, he says, look, I made it to 80. You make it to 80. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what he's basically saying is what works, what I did got me to 80.
You know what he said?
You know what I'm saying?
I survived 80 summers.
Right. 80 summers. Right. But he's saying that I done it my way, and that's been successful for me. And how we can sit back and say the same thing. You guys can say what you want, but I've done it this way and won a Super Bowl. What he really needs to do and say, you know what? I have not produced any Pro Bowlers or All Pros in the last 10 drafts that I've been in charge of. Or however many there have been. But he's not produced a lot of Pro Bowlers or All-Stars or anything like that. And that needs to be his litmus test.
It's sad when you go back and look at the last 10 draft picks. If he's been around for the last 10 drafts, it's sad to see the possibilities of what this team could have brought in. It's sad.
Yeah, it is. It's sad. Let me go to some comments. James Scott says, so how come nobody's blaming Mr. Lurie for some of this? He's to blame that this as much as anybody else. Yeah, well, ultimately, it falls on he's the one that writes the checks and all that. But we're hearing that he's really chummy with Howie and things of that nature. So I don't know how hard that would make it to be able to part ways with Howie. But, something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Let me get another comment. Richard Boo, I don't think Howie needs another year. Sean said, except for the 1-year contract anomaly that took place to get us a ring, Howie hasn't done crap else. He needs to roll nice dude personally, but can't draft to save his arse. Yes, I agree with that. And that's our big problem. And if he could recognize that, if he could show a bit of humility and recognize that, and bring on somebody. And he had him briefly. He had him in Joe Douglas. And I don't know, was he allowing Joe the input that Joe needed? Because Joe ran out when he got a chance to run. Mm-hmm. And we could have kept him. And I think we were fond of Joe. But did he have the autonomy he needed over the draft or not, because he ran out of here very, very quickly. And I think he's a good personnel guy. He was part of the Baltimore Ravens organization, and they put together some solid teams over the years, solid players. And he was brought in to do the same here. And and he ran right out of here as soon as the first chance he got. So I don't know if that's an indictment on how he is behind the scenes also. But these are all things that play into our team being as dysfunctional as they are now.
It's just
We
sad.
didn't even talk about the quarterback coach.
Oh,
Yeah. You know
who
what?
does not have the ear of the quarterback. You know, I miss the days, and I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I miss the days of Frank Reich and D. Phillip, man. I miss those days, man. I want to go to Indianapolis. I do want to go to Indianapolis, man.
Brett Favre said Carson may end up at Indianapolis and ball out back with the people that made him great.
That is a serious possibility. I think
that
it would
is.
be if that was allowed to happen, that would be Jeffrey Lurie saying that he's sticking with
That's
Howie no matter what.
$128 million going out the
No,
door.
because he has to ultimately sign off on it. And this guy
Yeah,
just said,
yeah.
why are we not blaming Jeffrey Lurie? But if something like this was allowed to happen, if Wentz was traded to the Indianapolis Colts, that would be Jeffrey Lurie making his decision on who his alliance is to. He would say
Mhm.
it would be saying that Howie's my guy no matter what. If he let a talent like that go, especially to the coach that made him a superstar, if you traded him there, oh, that would say a lot. That would say a lot.
Yeah, that would speak volumes. First and
What's
foremost.
his name? Pryor is our quarterback coach. Dana was asking who our quarterback coach is. Pryor, right?
No,
No, it's not Pryor.
It's what's that dude name?
Press Tiller.
Press Taylor, yeah.
Press Tiller. I had to think about it for a second. Press Tiller is our quarterback's coach.
Man, this is crazy. Let me go to some comments. Damn, I'm super late. Yes, you are, Brian. Tremont says, I said it. Yeah, what did you say? I missed it. Let me go to Dom Lewis. Dom Lewis says, Lewis Reddick is going to go to Atlanta, but I would love to have him back in Philly. Oh, yeah, he's that guy in ESPN.
Press Taylor.
I would love him. Look, if we could bring Lewis Reddick to run this team right here, yo, oh, that would be tremendous. But that's dreaming right there.
Yeah.
Lewis Reddick, whoa, that would be something. Look, I'm excited. Lewis Reddick. I mean,
Lewis
that
Reddick.
dude is. I respect his knowledge of the game and personnel and his vision. So yeah, if we could replace Howie with him, that would be a major upgrade. It'll be like what the Sixers did. Okay, so Dana Davis says Colts are paying two quarterbacks $40 million this year on 1 year. They can afford Wentz's contract.
can.
Yeah, that definitely could. He's going to be with his brother Zach Taylor. Who's that?
He's Press, our quarterback coach.
Zach Taylor is
Okay.
offensive coordinator and head coach in Cincinnati. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
JT says, "What's good,
you're late,
family?"
JT. It's
Yeah,
8
you
shots.
late as F. You late as F. Yes, you are, JT. Oh my God! And if it wasn't for the fact that we're drinking out of your gracious gift of shot glasses, we would probably put you in the back of the room right now. But we are drinking out of shot glasses that were provided by us by one JT Smith, one of our hugest fans, and I thank you so much, man. We love you, bro. Brian Ballard is saying, if they do decide to deal Wentz, is there any way to get rid of a dead cap hit? Not
Draft
next.
picks. The only way they could do it because the dead cap hit, I think it's about
$34 million
34.
before the end of 2021.
Yeah, so if they decide to draft him, there has to be a agreement between the team that they're getting traded to. Some other compensation has to make it up. So that's the only way that would be possible. And if I was another team like the Colts and Frank Wright really wanted this guy, I would, as the GM here in Philadelphia, if I could get rid of my draft picks and get rid of that dead cap. I'm not saying I would do it because I'm still a Wentz fan. I'm still.
Oh, the Sharks are in the water. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. The Sharks are probably in the water, and that'll probably be the best, or not the best, but the next news cycle that's going to come out. The Sharks are in the water. Because don't think there wouldn't be a minimum of a handful of teams like we do better with Wentz. We
Patriots.
wouldn't break him. We
Patriots.
put things around him. Come on now. You know they smelling that blood in the water right now.
All
Stop
right.
playing.
There was something else that you sent me a link on the clip from First Take where Stephen A. and Max Kellerman were discussing is Wentz broken or could he come back or something like that. And I agree with a lot of what Max says. I know Max is a big Wentz hater and stuff like that. I agree with some of the things that he said about it being his fault and all that. And he provided an interesting perspective when he said that Wentz has the ear of the owner. Now, I don't know how factual that is, but he was giving some insight to saying
He's
that.
not even starting. How?
Yeah. But he said that he alluded to the fact that Wentz has the ear of the owner, and that's maybe what helped contribute to breaking him. Now, my philosophy or my perspective on it, perception of it, was that they stopped coaching him after that MVP season because he was so good. But that's an interesting alternative perspective that he was providing with the relationship that Wentz has with Jeffrey Lurie. He alluded to the fact that Jeffrey Lurie loves this kid. I said that
I wouldn't give heed to that. Stephen A. has more ties to this area than Max Kellerman. Come on. I wouldn't even give heed to anything Max Kellerman says. Stephen A. would know way more about the Philly area. This is where he started. This is where he broke his bones. So come on. I wouldn't even give any heed to that. I think just Max Kellerman just needed something to say.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that because the last person that had Jeffrey Lurie's ear as a player was DeMarco Murray. And I don't want that to be the same thing with Carson Wentz. I don't think that's happening.
Well, I think I don't know. I'm not discounting that could happen because I think that a couple players have the ear of Jeffrey Lurie. I think JP being one of them. You know what I'm saying? So
JP is out the door though.
Yeah, he's out the door now.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give a lot of credence to that, but I did say that my perception was I think they stopped coaching Wentz or the type of coaching that he was getting left the building once Frank Reich and them left.
Yeah, it's no repercussions for what he's doing. It's no accountability.
Right.
There's no say, you know what, you did this, sit down for this drive. What they're doing this game should have been done 6 games ago. Should have been done the first game. Should have been done, weeks ago if they knew that this might help his overall growth. On top of that, the same talk that Doug Peterson, I said this in our first quarter, the same thing that Doug Peterson said for this young quarterback should have been your philosophy for your starting quarterback throughout the whole year. If you're beating the Washington football team 17-0, why in the world are you throwing the ball?
So much. Yeah, I agree. I think that some of the conversation that Aaron Rodgers was having with Wentz was, and this is all speculation. This is just my perception of all, and when there's an absence of facts, you fill it in with imagination. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm filling it in, but I'm thinking that Aaron Rodgers is telling this guy to keep his head up because he understands what kind of coach you're playing for and what you're suffering through. He understands that by going through that himself with McCarthy and you know what I mean. That's just what I said. That's what I said.
That's crazy. You won a Super Bowl with McCarthy.
Yeah, he won it, but that doesn't mean that we won a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. That doesn't mean that it wasn't Frank Reich that was the major contributor to that on the coaching side of things.
True.
I mean, our team has never been the same since he's walked out the building. And I know I need to stop harping on that because it's past, but I think the sooner that this organization realized that that it wasn't that he's not who we thought he was. You know what I mean? I mean, he did do a good job getting us there, but let's be realistic. Look at the numbers don't lie. It's not the same since that guy walked out the building. It's not. The offense doesn't move the same. It's not. And I could be proven wrong on Sunday by this guy throwing for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, and everybody will come back and be like, "No, I told you Doug is a genius."
You know, something crazy. I went back and I watched some Jalen Hurts film because I had to familiarize myself with his game. This guy actually put up some numbers like that in college, but he had All Americans around him. Right now, he doesn't have All Americans around him. And I don't know the outcome of this game. I haven't yet to sit down and really dissect it and think about who I'm going to pick or anything like that. Just like last week, when I even though I did decide to pick the Packers, I did tell Dante before the show I don't see us winning this game because of the way our offensive our coach is coaching the game. This game is almost going to be the same way. Uh, does Jalen Hurts give you more opportunity to win the game? Not as much opportunity as Carson Wentz does. If your
Only with his feet. But he's still going to get hit. You saw his last two plays of the game was a sack and a pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Isaiah, you think that wasn't going to continue?
It's going to continue over and over with the line that he has. Yes, it's definitely going to continue. The one bright spot
line is trash.
The one bright spot on the line is our new left tackle for the future, Jordan Mailata.
That's it. That's it. He's the only one I trust right now.
I mean, Jake Driscoll, he's going to be a great substitute guy to come in there to be your 6th and 7th offensive lineman, different packages. But right now, the bright spots are new left tackle. That's it.
I like Driscoll. I think Driscoll's going to. I think he's going to be.
He's a good utility guy.
Yeah,
but the star is right now. The future star is Mailata.
Yes. Yeah, Mailata. Yeah, and look what it took to discover them. That's another reason.
That's scary. That kills me because we do have talent somewhere hitting on this roster, and it happens every time around this year. We start putting these guys in the game,
and then we find out they can play. They could play the whole time, full.
Well, a good coach with some insight would have had them in sooner. A good coach with.
I think our mic went out. Yeah.
Oh, your mic went out. But I agree. You're right. A good coach would have known or recognized and would not play the draft politics or whatever the politics that come into play when you want to play the player you picked over the free agent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside stays on the roster because he was a second-round pick, but Fulgham outperformed him all preseason.
That kills me when I see that.
Stuff like that.
Because Alshon Jeffrey now is getting these plays that Fulgham would normally have gotten. And don't get me wrong, when I went back and watched this game, there were a couple catches that this guy should have caught. I'm not going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I saw that.
That's one thing that always scared me about the kid. I mean, maybe the lights are getting too bright for him. Maybe he's always been a body catcher. But besides that aspect of the game, when he was that 4-game stretch was the best 4-game stretch this year from any wide receiver. Why do you diminish him? Because you got the money man coming back. Why?
Yeah.
You keep him on that role, and you keep that offense on that role with that same wide receiver.
Well, it's time. It's time to make the decision that this. I can't ask them to do that, but if we're not tanking or anything like that or giving up, but if we are going to go to like a Jalen Hurts, then you need to commit to the younger players on here that could possibly be the future. Like we shouldn't see Alshon right now. I'm sorry, we're not going to the Super Bowl. Alshon is taking snaps away from some of the young guys who could be gaining valuable snaps at this point in their career. The one, find out what we have, and two, to get them the snaps they need. The experience they need. We should be playing Jordan Mailata like we are. We shouldn't see Jason Peters anymore. We should be playing our young guys and developing these guys. This is what we talk about that there's a lack of on this team is player development. This is a prime opportunity to start doing some of that.
Correct. I agree with you 100%. There's two guys on our practice squad. Elijah Holyfield, who should be running the ball, and Hakeem Butler, the 6'5" wide receiver from Iowa State.
Let me just, you need to pause on the running back. I'm campaigning for my man to get some carries. I damn sure don't want Holyfield to come in. I want Miles Sanders to get the ball more. I think they've been messing him around.
They have.
You know what I'm saying? And you want the guy from the practice squad? No, I'll pump the brakes on that. He got to wait his turn. Let me put my energy into getting Miles Sanders some touches first.
All right. Let's get Miles Sanders some touches. But the kid Hakeem Butler needs to be on the field. I mean, JJ needs to be on the practice squad or cut. Alshon needs to be inactive every game. Quez Watkins needs to be up. Queen Butler needs to be up. These young kids that we have that have ability, some kind of talent, need to be on the field, getting this game experience, and hopefully, with that game experience comes, they may be the next breakout star for our team.
All right, look, the quarter's been ended, and we are going to end it also.
We're
but
in overtime,
we'll
right?
be here. We're in overtime. Yeah, we're in overtime. We'll be here Sunday, and I know somebody said earlier in the show, like, Dante, what are you doing on here? You said you wasn't coming back since but my word was I wasn't coming back on Sundays. I was not wasting my time on Sundays. I had better things to do than to watch this team suck as bad as they suck on Sundays. So I said if they lost 4 games in a row, I would not return. And I mean that shit. I'm saying like Retha May, my mom from down south. And I mean that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I have taken a bribe, I can be bribed. And Pat has offered me a tomahawk steak to not be a man of my word. So I'm shamelessly going to accept the tomahawk steak. So I will be back. I will be here on Sunday. So don't fret, but don't get it twisted, man. If this team I'm not doing this. I mean, I love to come in here and talk about it, but we spent the whole show and it was relevant. It was very relevant. Forget the X and O's. Tonight's show was relevant in talking about the dysfunction and the behind and the kind of more of the front office and coaching than the X and O's on the field. But it was needed tonight because this is what's going on with our team. And we have to be aware of it because something has to give. I'm not satisfied with 3-8-1 and whatever this season produces because it's not going to produce a winning season. We already know that. I'm not satisfied with that, and I'm not going to be complacent about that. And I don't want any of you to be that way either.
I'm not complacent with it. I don't know how this feels. This is a terrible feeling. We haven't felt this way since 2012, I think. I think it was 2012 the last time we had a losing record like we have right now. So I mean, we did have you losing record in Doug's first year, but that was his first year. Let's be honest. Like
it was the first year after Chip Kelly.
Yeah,
we were excited just for him to be in a different coach to be in the building. So we gave him a pass for that. But what do you say? What do you say, Nichelle? Am I tripping?
No, you're not tripping. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to deal with 3. I'm still reconciled with 3 wins. I'm just pretending like it doesn't even exist, to be honest with you, because I'm like, 3 wins? What you mean we got 3 wins? It's not possible. But yeah, I mean, Pat, you tried to call it a mulligan year. I know there's a lot going on, but still, they, like I said, these guys got to play. They have the privilege of being able to practice. They really only had a bit of a delay. They have all the privileges to still go out and perform.
They play
spades. Oh,
yeah.
All right. We can't allow this to happen again. But anyway, we're going to call this. We're going to bring this show to a close. We thank you guys for following us. We will be back on Sunday. What time is it? Sunday's game?
1 o'clock, I believe.
1 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, we'll be on for our pregame here on Eagles Talk and postgame following. But tune in because it's going to be exciting. We get to see the rookie Jalen Hurts and see if he can turn it around or give our offense some type of spark. We go up against an old friend of ours, Malcolm Jenkins, who's now playing on the number 1 defense in the league. So it's going to be very exciting. Just tune in Sunday, 12 noon, Eagles Talk. Facebook page on YouTube and Periscope. Me, Dante the Dark Knight, for my co-host Pat, this one Sandlin boy, and my beautiful co-host Nichelle over there. We will see you guys on Sunday. We're out. Peace.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback whack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. It's Eagles Talk Live, let's talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles fly. Let's beat the squad.